The 1958 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the final coins of the historic wheat cent series, and collectors continue to search for this date because it marks the end of an era in American coinage. This penny carries the Denver Mint mark, and most surviving examples come from general circulation, which means many show signs of wear. Even in good condition, this coin still attracts the interest of collectors who want to complete their sets or understand the value of late wheat pennies. Story of the 1958 wheat penny begins with its place in history as the last year the United States Mint produced the wheat reverse design. The 1958 coins represent the closing chapter before the introduction of the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. This shift alone makes the 1958 penny more interesting than many other late date wheat cents because it symbolizes the end of a 50-year run. The Wheat Penny series started in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and over time it became one of the most collected American coin series. The design of the 1958 wheat penny remains the same as earlier pieces, featuring the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse created by Victor David Brenner. The reverse features two wheat stalks framing the denomination 1 cent and the words United States of America. This simple design lasted for decades, and the final year coins, like the 1958 offer collectors a chance to own a piece of that long history. When looking at the value of a 1958 penny, condition plays an important role. In good condition, which is a circulated grade, the coin shows noticeable wear on Lincoln's face, hair, and coat, but still retains all major details. The wheat stalks on the reverse may appear smooth and flattened, but the design is still visible. Collectors understand that good condition coins are common for this year because the Denver Mint struck over 800 million of them, making the 1958 one of the highest mintage wheat pennies ever produced. Because of this large mintage, the value of the 1958 penny in good condition is modest, but it still holds collectible interest. In today's market, most good condition examples range around a few cents to about 20 to 30 cents, depending on the buyer and the coin's overall appearance. Dealers often pay a small premium for clean, evenly worn examples with no heavy damage or discoloration. Even though the price is low, the importance of this coin comes from its historical significance rather than rarity. However, certain factors can increase the value. For example, if the coin has exceptional eye appeal with even wear and no major marks, a collector may offer more. Additionally, some 1958 pennies have minor die cracks, repunched mint marks, or small striking anomalies. These types of errors can sometimes raise the value into the few dollar range, depending on the severity and collector demand. While not extremely rare, these varieties do create excitement among collectors who enjoy identifying small differences among otherwise common coins. The 1958 wheat penny also serves as a popular beginner coin for new collectors because it is affordable and easy to find. It represents an accessible entry point into the world of numismatics, and it gives collectors something meaningful from the final year of the wheat cent series. Because of its historical connection, even a low-value coin like this carries the charm of American minting tradition. Many young collectors first learn about wheat pennies through coins like the 1958 and later move on to collect earlier and rarer dates. When discussing market value, it is important to note that high-grade, uncirculated examples of the 1958 penny can bring stronger prices. Coins graded red, uncirculated by professional grading services, have sold for significant amounts, including hundreds of dollars for top population examples. But these are rare and highly preserved coins. Good condition circulated examples do not reach those price levels and remain low in market value. Today's collectors understand the price difference between circulated and mint state pieces, and the 1958 is a clear example of how condition impacts pricing. Even though the 1958 penny in good condition is not a high-dollar coin, it still has strong appeal for collectors building full wheat penny sets because it is the last year of the series. Many people enjoy having it as a closing point in their album completing a set from 1909 through 1958 gives collectors a sense of satisfaction, and the 1958D plays an important role in that journey. The affordability of this coin also allows collectors on any budget to participate in completing their sets. Today's market, the overall value of a 1958D wheat penny in good condition remains steady. Most examples sell between 10 and 30 cents based on appearance, but the sentimental and historical value often outweighs the financial value. For many collectors, owning a piece of the final year wheat penny is meaningful and connects them with over 5 decades of American coin history. The 1958D penny continues to be appreciated for its legacy, even if its monetary value stays modest. This coin also serves as a reminder of how American coinage changed in the late 1950s. As the country prepared for a new design era, the switch to the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959 marked a major redesign, and the 1958D penny stands as the last chapter before that change. Because of this, collectors see it as a bridge between two important periods in U.S. coinage. Collectors buying or selling a 1958D penny in good condition should not expect large profits, but they can enjoy the satisfaction of owning a genuine piece of numismatic history. For most buyers, the coin's value lies in its story, availability, and connection to the end of the wheat penny line. Even though millions were made, each surviving example helps preserve the legacy of the wheat cent and continues to attract collectors of all ages. Next up, the 1937 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny with the S mint mark, and exploring how much this coin can be worth in good circulating condition in today's market. Many people discover this coin in old boxes or inherited collections and wonder whether this early 20th century issue holds meaningful value. The 1937 S wheat penny is part of a period when the San Francisco Mint was still producing relatively smaller quantities compared to Philadelphia, and that fact often gives collectors more interest in the S mint mark pieces from the 1930s. Still, the exact value of any coin depends on its preservation and market demand. When you hold a 1937 S penny in your hand, you are handling a coin from a different era of American life during the later years of the Great Depression, when every cent truly mattered to the everyday person. These coins circulated widely, and by the time they are found today, many show were consistent with long-term use. Good condition in numismatic terms typically means the main design elements are visible, but the finer details are worn down. In this grade, the portrait of Lincoln remains recognizable but shows flattening on the cheek and jaw, and the wheat ears on the reverse appear smooth with only major outlines remaining. This level of wear is expected and acceptable for a coin that spent decades in circulation. The 1937 S penny remains popular among collectors because it belongs to a decade that produced several semi-key and interesting dates in the wheat penny series. Even so, the 1937 S is not considered rare. The San Francisco Mint produced millions of them, and many were saved over time. However, it does carry more collector warmth than the extremely common wheat pennies from the late 1940s and 1950s. This means that even in good condition, it can sometimes bring slightly better prices than some other circulated wheat cents. In today's coin market, a 1937 S wheat penny in good condition does not reach very high dollar values, but it does rise above the level of mere face value. Most dealers and collectors will value a typical good grade example somewhere in the range of about 20 to 50 cents, depending on the specific look of the coin, the level of remaining detail, and the current demand. For pre-World War II wheat pennies, while this amount is modest, it is notably higher than the value of many late-date wheat pennies, which often trade for only a few cents. Above face value, the value climbs if the coin has strong surfaces and pleasant coloration even while still fitting. Within the good range. Natural brown toning, intact surfaces, and freedom from serious damage such as deep scratches, corrosion, or bends can help the coin appeal visually to a buyer. Collectors prefer pieces that show honest, even wear instead of those that have been cleaned or polished. Cleaning a coin reduces value because it strips away the natural surface that took decades to form and can leave hairline marks that show up under light. A naturally aged coin in good condition will always be worth more than an aggressively cleaned coin in the same technical grade. The story of this coin adds another layer of appeal. The design of the Lincoln Wheat cent created by Victor David Brenner had already become iconic by 1937. The familiar profile of Lincoln paired with the classic wheat ear reverse represented a strong symbol of American stability during a decade of economic hardship. Holding a 1937 penny is like touching a small piece of history from a turbulent but important chapter of the nation's past. Many collectors appreciate this connection, which contributes to ongoing demand for earlier wheat cents. Although the 1937 penny does not usually contain major rare errors or dramatic varieties that skyrocket its value, the coin still fits into many desirable collecting themes. Some collectors build short sets of San Francisco mint wheat pennies. Others assemble full date and mint mark runs covering the entire wheat penny era from 1909 to 1958. In all these sets, the 1937 plays a comfortable role as a mid-era piece that adds historical balance. Its value as part of a larger collection is often greater than its value as a single coin. It is worth noting that higher grades bring higher prices. A 1937 penny in very fine condition or extremely fine condition can rise into the $1 to several dollar range, and uncirculated examples can reach significantly more. But when we focus strictly on a coin in good condition, the value remains within the more modest bracket mentioned earlier. That said, this modest value does not diminish its interest to many collectors who seek authentic circulated pieces that show the journey of time. For someone who has found one of these coins and is thinking about selling it, the most common way to do so is through a local coin shop, online marketplaces, or by including it within a group of mixed wheat pennies. Single good condition 1937 pennies can sell individually but often move faster as part of small sets or bulk lots. Buyers who enjoy the history of the wheat penny era appreciate having multiple dates to explore, so grouping can sometimes increase the appeal for collectors looking to purchase one. The good news is affordability. A 1937 penny in good condition allows beginners and enthusiasts to own a pre-war San Francisco mint coin without spending much money. It is a perfect entry piece for anyone building a date and mint mark, set on a budget, or simply wanting a historically meaningful coin to add to a collection. Summary: the 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny in good condition carries more historical value than monetary value, but still holds an appealing place in the market. In today's market, it typically brings between 20 and 50 cents, depending on appearance and demand. While not a rare treasure, it remains a meaningful coin from an important era and continues to attract collectors who appreciate the story behind every circulated penny that has survived nearly 9 decades. Next up, the 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is a coin that many collectors look at closely because it carries the history of the early 1950s and represents one of the final years of the wheat cent era. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use a mint mark at that time, and today it continues to attract interest from collectors who appreciate coins that have survived decades in circulation. The normal black color shade or dark-toned condition often develops from age, storage, and environmental exposure, and while it does not make the coin rare, It does give it a unique appearance that many collectors enjoying. This video, we explore why the 1951 no-mint mark wheat penny remains valuable, how it fits into the long history of the Lincoln cent series, and what kind of prices it can bring in today's auction market, even a coin in normal, dark, or black tone condition can hold value depending on its strike quality, preservation, and eye appeal. While circulated coins are generally more common, some still rise to surprising price levels when collectors are seeking specific dates or well-detailed examples. Story of the 1951 wheat penny begins with the design itself, the Lincoln cent first. Introduced in 1909, honored President Abraham Lincoln and marked the first time a real person was featured on a regular United States coin. The wheat reverse design created by Victor David Brenner stayed in use until 1958 and has since become one of the most collected coin designs in American history. The 1951 penny follows that familiar design with Lincoln's portrait on the front and the wheat stalks on the back, along with the inscriptions that define the era. By 1951, the United States Mint was producing millions of cents every year to meet the demand of a rapidly growing economy. The Philadelphia Mint alone struck hundreds of millions of cents that year, making the 1951 no-mint mark penny a common date in the wheat cent series. Even with such a large mintage, collectors continue to seek well-preserved examples, coins that still show strong detail in one-stay ruby, in Lincoln's hair wheat lines and lettering. Often coins found today show heavy wear because they remained in circulation for many years, and many also have darkened color from age or storage in boxes, jars, and drawers. 1951 penny with a naturally dark or black shade is generally considered a circulated coin with environmental toning. This type of toning can look attractive to some collectors when the surface remains smooth without corrosion or pitting. It is important to understand that the color does not create rarity, but it also does not remove the history and charm that make wheat pennies popular for many collectors. The appeal of such a coin comes from its authenticity and the story it has carried through more than 70 years of circulation. When it comes to value, most circulated 1951 wheat pennies without a mint mark sell in a modest range, but certain examples can still surprise collectors. A typical circulated coin in normal toned condition may sell for around 5 cents to 25 cents, depending on the sharpness of details and overall appearance. Better examples with strong remaining lines on the wheat stalks and clean surfaces can sell for 50 cents to a few dollars, and these are the coins that collectors prefer to add to their albums. Auction prices sometimes go higher, especially when a coin stands out with unusually strong strike quality or exceptional original surfaces. Even circulated coins can reach $10 or more when buyers are seeking a specific date and the example offered shows better than average eye appeal. While this may not seem high compared to rare varieties, it is still significant considering the original value of just 1 cent. A nice example of the 1951 penny in black-toned but problem-free condition can also bring more interest if the surfaces appear smooth and the color remains even without signs of corrosion. Uncirculated examples of this coin follow a different price structure, but since this script focuses on a normally circulated black-toned condition coin, we stay within that range. In today's market, circulated 1951 no mint mark pennies continue to sell steadily because millions were made. The value depends on condition, demand, and eye appeal rather than rarity. Collectors who complete wheat penny sets look for nice, even-colored coins with readable details and smooth surfaces, and these qualities keep the market active for this date. Part of the value also comes from the long popularity of wheat pennies. In the world of coin collecting, wheat cents are usually the first series that new collectors start with. They are easy to find, inexpensive, and full of history. This strong collector base helps maintain stable demand for common date coins like the 1951 penny. Even though it is not a rare coin in most grades, the historical significance and nostalgic value give it steady interest. If you have a 1951 wheat penny in a normal black color shade the best way to judge value is to check the sharpness of the letters Liberty, the date, and Lincoln's profile. The more detail that remains, the higher the value. A coin with strong wheat lines on the reverse always commands better prices because it shows that the coin did not spend as many years in circulation clean. Smooth surfaces without scratches, rims that are not damaged, and even toning all help the coin perform better. In the marketing conclusion, the 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny, without a mint mark, may not be the rarest coin in the series, but it remains a valuable part of American coin history and continues to hold interest in today's market. Even in a normal black-toned condition, it carries the charm of the wheat cent era and can sell for a reasonable amount depending on its detail and preservation. Collectors appreciate coins like this for their history, affordability, and their ability to complete a classic set, making the 1951 penny a steady and respected piece in the world of numismatics. Next up, the 1928 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is one of those old American coins that continues to attract collectors because of its age history and the value it can still bring in today's market. When we look at a coin from the late 1920 South, we are looking at a piece of American history that has been handled by generations and has survived almost 100 years. This coin was minted in Philadelphia, which is why it carries no mint mark, and even in normal circulated condition, it still carries solid value because early-date wheat pennies remain in strong demand among both new and experienced collectors too. Understand why the 1928 penny holds value. We need to look at what makes it different from later years. The Philadelphia Mint produced millions of these coins, but not all survived in good shape. Over the decades, many were damaged, lost, or worn down, and this is one of the reasons collectors pay attention to the surviving pieces. Even in normal damage or marked condition, the coin remains desirable because collectors always look for early-date wheat cents, especially those struck before World War II. These coins were made of 95% copper, giving them a strong classic look that makes them easily recognizable and historically meaningful. The obverse of the coin features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The design was introduced in 1909 and became one of the longest-running designs in American numismatics. Over years of circulation, the portrait often shows signs of wear, including scratches, small dents, and the kind of normal damage that we expect from a coin that has passed through so many hands. Many 1928 pennies also show oxidation or dark spots, which collectors sometimes call damage. This is not unusual and does not immediately remove all value from the piece because demand remains steady for the day. The reverse, the wheat ears design, still stands as a classic symbol of American coinage. The words 1 cent and United States of America appear prominently along with the wheat stalks on both sides. Minor wear often softens these details, but even moderately worn examples remain collectible because the historical interest of the coin outweighs the cosmetic issues. Collectors often seek these coins to complete early-date wheat sets or to upgrade a lower-grade example they already have. For the value in today's market, the price depends mostly on the condition. A 1928 wheat penny without a mint mark in typical circulated condition with visible normal damage or spotting usually sells for around $1 to $3. These are the kinds of coins you might find in old collections, jars, and inherited boxers. When the coin is in better condition, such as a very fine or extremely fine grade, the value can rise into the $8 to $12 range, and if the coin has sharper detail, even with minor damage, it may sell for $15 or slightly more. Truly high-grade examples, especially uncirculated pieces, command much higher prices, reaching into the hundreds. But since the focus here is on a normal, damaged piece, the realistic market is usually in the low dollar range. Collectors continue to look for the 1928 penny because it bridges the gap between the earlier rare wheat cents of the teens and the more common modern dates. Its age gives it charm, Its copper composition gives it character, and its affordability makes it appealing. Even a damaged example still carries historical weight and collectible interest, making it a coin worth keeping for anyone interested in American coin history or for anyone building a complete Lincoln Wheat Penny set. If you have a 1928 penny without mint mark in normal damaged condition, you are holding a small but genuine piece of American history, and even though it may not be a high-value rarity, it still has enough market strength to earn collector attention and modest but reliable value. In today's coin market, first up, the 1958 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, and exploring how much value this common but historic coin can carry in normal, dirty, circulated condition in the market today. Many people come across this coin in old jars, in drawers, or inside boxes inherited from relatives and wonder if the final year of the Wheat Penny series might have some hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. While the 1958 Wheat Penny is not considered one of the rarest issues in the Lincoln Cent series, it still holds a special place for collectors because it marks the end of an era. Before the transition to the Lincoln Memorial, reverse that. Started in 1959, when we talk about a 1958 penny without a mint mark, we are referring to the coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint, since Philadelphia did not place mint marks on its cents in that period. In 1958, the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins, so they are not scarce in the sense of mintage numbers. Because of that abundance, most circulated examples today do not command high prices. However, even common coins can have small pockets of value. Depending on condition, color, overall eye appeal, and collector demand. For most people who find one of these coins, the condition falls into the category known as circulated. This means the coin has been used in everyday transactions over many years. It may appear brown, dull, or dark. It may carry surface dirt, fingerprints, or old grime. This is what many people casually describe as normal dirty condition. In the coin market, the level of dirt does not really determine the value in itself. What matters is how much of the design is worn away, how smooth the high points are, and whether the coin has any major damage like deep scratches or corrosion. A dirty coin with strong remaining detail is always preferable to a clean coin that has been harshly scrubbed, because cleaning often harms the surface. In today's market, the typical circulated 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is considered a low-value collectible. When sold individually, these coins often bring somewhere in the range of a few cents above face value. Many dealers will pay only a small amount because they already have large supplies in their inventory. A normal, dirty, circulated piece commonly sells for about 5 to 15 cents, depending on demand and the specific appearance of the coin. This valuation is consistent with the general collector trend for the final year of the Wheat Reverse series, where only high-grade or uncirculated examples attract stronger prices. 2. Understand why the values remain modest. It helps to think about supply and demand. The supply of 1958 wheat pennies is still abundant. Many were saved in rolls and jars over the decades because the wheat design had already become a favorite among collectors by the time it was discontinued. This widespread saving behavior means that even today there are countless examples floating around in circulation and in private collections. On the demand side, collectors who pursue wheat pennies usually try to complete date and mint mark sets, and they typically prefer higher grade examples for the final years of the series because they are easier to find in good condition. As a result, most circulated pieces that show heavy wear or dirt simply do not command a premium. That being said, the 1958 wheat penny still holds value in a different sense. It represents a piece of American history from the late 1950s, a period marked by economic growth, cultural change, and rising attention to numismatics. The design by Victor David Brenner, showing Lincoln on the obverse and the classic wheat ears on the reverse, had already been in use for nearly 50 years when this coin was minted. For many collectors, the emotional and historical value adds meaning beyond the small financial value. Owning a coin from the last year of the Wheat series feels like holding the final chapter of a long story in your hand. Another factor worth discussing is how value changes if a circulated coin shows slightly better detail or has some of the original red or red-brown color left. Even in circulated grades, coins that retain traces of original mint glow can sell for somewhat more than dirty brown examples. They might reach 20 to 30 cents or slightly more, depending on buyer interest. The increase is not large, but it shows how the market rewards originality and eye appeal. On the other hand, coins that have been harshly cleaned, scrubbed, or polished always lose value compared to naturally aged pieces because cleaning wears down the metal and leaves unnatural marks on the surface. Say few rare varieties or errors can exist for many wheat penny years, but the 1958 Philadelphia issue is not famous for major dramatic errors fetched at high prices. The well-known 1958 double die obverse belongs to the Denver Mint issue and is extraordinarily rare with a value far beyond normal circulation coins, but that variety does not apply to the no mint mark Philadelphia coin that we are discussing here. Therefore, when we focus strictly on a regular circulated 1958 without a mint mark, the pricing stays within the modest range described earlier. For anyone considering selling such a coin, the easiest way is to group it with other common wheat pennies. Because bulk lots often appeal to new collectors or hobbyists, single coins in dirty circulated condition may take longer to sell individually because the value is low. Still, it is a fun coin to keep as a historical piece, even if the financial return is not large. For those looking to purchase a 1958 Philadelphia wheat penny as part of a collection, the good news is that the affordability makes it easy to obtain an example that fits your needs. In summary, the most valuable aspect of a normal, dirty, circulated 1958 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark is not the price, but the story. In today's market, expect a value of around 5 to 15 cents for most circulated examples. It may not make you rich, but it gives you a link to American history and the final moment of a beloved coin design before it transitioned into a new era. Next up, the 1956 Abraham Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark, and explore how much value this coin can hold in dirty circulated condition in today's market and what makes it interesting to collectors. Even though it is one of the later dates of the Wheat Cent series, many people find this coin in jars and boxes and in family keepsakes and wonder whether a 1956 wheat penny could be worth more than just 1 cent, especially when the coin looks worn, dark, and covered in the kind of surface grime that comes from decades of circulation. The 1956 penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and, as with most Philadelphia issues of the 1950s, there were extremely large production numbers. The Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins, which means the 1956 wheat penny is not rare in the general sense. Because of that, the basic value of a circulated example stays on the lower side. But collectors still have interest in these coins because the Wheat Penny series is one of the most widely collected coin series in American numismatics. Every date from 1909 to 1958 holds a place in the larger historical timeline of the Lincoln Cent series, and the 1956 penny represents the second to last full year before the wheat reverse design was replaced in 1959 when a coin is found in dirty condition. This usually means it has accumulated natural grime from decades of use. The surfaces are typically dark brown, maybe even close to black in some areas, and the high points of the design show noticeable flattening. In the coin collecting world, this is called circulated condition. Dirt itself does not automatically reduce value since collectors care more about honest wear than about something that can be lightly rinsed away with safe handling. What the market does not favor is any coin that has been aggressively cleaned or polished, because that removes natural metal and damages the surfaces. A dirty but naturally aged coin is always preferable to a shiny but harshly cleaned one. In today's market, the value of a 1956 no-mint Mark Wheat penny in dirty circulated condition remains modest. Most examples sell for somewhere between 5 and 15 cents, depending on the level of where the visual appeal and current collector demand. Although this is not a high dollar amount, it still reflects an increase over face value and gives the coin a small collectible premium. Coins with lighter wear or more intact design details may rise slightly above this range, while heavily worn and damaged pieces may fall to just a few cents above face value. Reason values remain low for the 1956 wheat penny is rooted in supply. During the mid to late 1950s, many people began saving wheat pennies because they recognized the design might soon change. As a result, millions of them were set aside in rolls and jars rather than being spent. This saved supply continues to affect the market today. For collectors building basic sets, the 1956 penny is easy to find and, therefore, rarely generates high bids unless it is in uncirculated condition or features exceptional eye appeal. Still, the 1956 wheat penny holds significance. In the overall narrative of the series, the classic wheat ear reverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, had been in use since 1909, and by 1956, that design had already served nearly 5 decades of American history. This includes 2 world wars, the Great Depression, and major cultural shifts throughout the country. Each coin carries the character of that history, even if its financial value is not large. Collectors who appreciate the feel of history in their hands often enjoy keeping circulated wheat pennies regardless of grade or rarity. Another important point is that the 1956 no-mint mark ISSUE is not known for major dramatic errors that command high premiums. Although minor varieties exist in almost every year of coinage, the 1956 Philadelphia wheat penny is generally considered a straightforward issue with no widely recognized high-value errors. That means that for most people, the value of their coin will fall in the same modest circulated range. However, careful collectors still enjoy examining their coins for any potential die cracks, repunched mint marks, or small irregularities that add interest, even if they do not dramatically increase the value for someone looking to sell a 1956 wheat penny in dirty condition. The most practical method is often to include it in a group of wheat pennies rather than selling it individually. Bulk lots tend to attract buyers who enjoy sorting through coins and building sets or searching for varieties. If you choose to sell individually, you may still find buyers, but the price will remain within the low range mentioned earlier. If you simply want to know whether the coin is worth saving, the answer is yes. Because wheat pennies remain popular with new collectors and wheat stick, ruby kiss, wool may ruby kiss, only ruby kiss has the luxurious, kiss has the luxury skissed, it's skays. It's live to lees. It's wive skiply skiv, kiyeed. It is recon kiss, remade. Wime squeeze. Why may squeed squeed. Why squeed, may caliph. Why squeed, we a guess squeed. We were so carried, but to make it, we se live. We may make we sigh, we may made it. Continue to represent a fun starting point in coin collecting. For a collector looking to buy a 1956 penny, the advantage lies in affordability. Good circulated examples are inexpensive and easy to obtain. This makes the 1956 no-mint mark coin a great choice for beginners. who want to fill a space in their album without needing to invest heavily. For more advanced collectors, the search may focus on finding a high-grade example with strong, original color, but for most people, the circulated version offers a satisfying combination of history and accessibility. In summary, the 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark in dirty circulated condition does not command a high price in today's market. Most examples fall in the range of 5 to 15 cents. While the monetary value is modest, the historical significance and the enduring appeal of the wheat penny design keep collectors interested in this coin. It may not be the rarest or most valuable wheat penny, but it remains a part of the story of American coinage and continues to draw attention from anyone who enjoys exploring the past through the coins that have traveled through countless hands over the decades. Next up, the story of the 1938 D. Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny is a fascinating chapter in American numismatics and an important topic for collectors who enjoy studying early Lincoln cents. This coin comes from the Denver Mint during a decade marked by economic recovery and rising demand for small denomination currency. The 1938 D.A. Wheat Penny stands out because it was produced in moderate numbers but still holds strong value today, especially when collectors find examples that have remained preserved in circulated condition. The design of the 1938 D. Wheat Penny continues the classic artistic style created by Victor David Brenner in 1909. The obverse shows the portrait of Abraham Lincoln with the mint mark D placed just below the date. This mint mark confirms the coin was produced in Denver, and collectors often compare it with the Philadelphia and San Francisco issues for that year. The reverse displays the two iconic wheat stalks, symbolizing national prosperity, strength, and unity. Although the design was kept simple, each coin carries the historical charm of pre-war American currency. The mintage for the 1938 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny was just over 20 million pieces. This number is not extremely low, but not extremely high either, placing the coin in a range that makes circulated examples affordable while still maintaining steady collector demand. Over the years, many of these coins were heavily used in daily transactions, which means that finding examples in strong circulated condition can be rewarding for collectors today. When evaluating the 1938 D penny, condition plays the biggest role in value. A circulated piece will show natural wear on Lincoln's cheek-jaw hairlines and clothing folds the wheat. Ears on the reverse will also show flattening, though the overall design remains fully visible. Most circulated coins from this year have a medium brown or dark brown color, the result of decades of natural aging on the copper surface. Collectors generally look for pieces with even-colored, clear details and no major scratches or damage when a 1938 D penny in circulated condition enters the market. Its value depends on how strong the remaining detail is. Low-grade examples that are heavily worn but still readable usually sell for around 10 cents to 20 cents. Coins in better circulated condition, such as fine or very fine grades, often sell from 50 cents to $1. Higher circulated grades, such as extremely fine, can reach $2 to $3. These values represent typical market ranges for every day collectors who want an example of the 1938 D penny without paying premium prices. Even though the 1938 D wheat penny in circulated condition is not considered a rare coin, it still holds significance in the Lincoln series. It is part of the late wheat penny era, just before the wartime changes of the 1940s, and it connects collectors to a moment in U.S. history when copper coins were still being produced. In traditional form, certain examples of this coin have sold for higher prices at auctions when the condition approached uncirculated levels or when the coin had exceptional eye appeal. In today's market, collectors appreciate coins that have smooth surfaces, strong lettering, and minimal spotting or corrosion, while circulated pieces cannot match the sharpness of mint-state examples. They still offer historical value at an affordable price. For many collectors, the 1938 D penny is an excellent add. Entry-level coin that combines history design and reasonable value. The demand for wheat pennies continues to grow as younger collectors enter the hobby and seek early-date coins from the series. This coin remains desirable because it is attainable, but still old enough to feel truly historic. The circulated value for a typical 1938 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny today ranges from 10 cents to $3, depending on wear, color, and overall eye appeal. This consistent and steady market interest ensures that the 1938 penny will continue to be an important part of the Lincoln cent story and a staple in many collections across the country. Next up, the 1950 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny, without a mint mark, is a coin that continues to capture the interest of collectors and enthusiasts alike. This coin is part of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The wheat cent design features a portrait of Lincoln on the obverse and wheat stalks on the reverse, symbolizing prosperity and growth. The 1950 issue comes at a time when the United States was transitioning from the post-World War II era into a period of economic expansion, making coins from this period particularly interesting for historical context, despite being produced in large quantities. The 1950 wheat penny without a mint mark holds collectible value depending on its condition. Coins in uncirculated or fine condition are often sought after by collectors, but even coins in damaged or circulated condition have market interest because of their historical significance. The coin without a mint mark was minted in Philadelphia, which was the primary mint responsible for producing large volumes of coins for circulation. While Philadelphia minted coins generally have higher mintage numbers compared to other mints, the age and historical values still make them desirable for those who collect Lincoln Wheat Cents. A 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny in damaged condition typically shows significant wear, scratches, discoloration, or other physical flaws that can affect its appearance and grading. Damage may include bent edges, corrosion, or surface marks from years of handling and circulation. While these flaws reduce the coin's aesthetic appeal, they do not entirely eliminate its value. Even in this condition, it serves as a tangible piece of American history, representing the mid-20th century economy and everyday life. Collectors who are looking to complete a full set of Lincoln Wheat Cents often seek out coins from every year and mint mark. And the 1950 Philadelphia issue is an important piece for such collections. In terms of market value, the price of a 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark in damaged condition generally ranges from a few cents to a few dollars, depending on the severity of the damage. Coins that are extremely worn, corroded, or bent might only be worth their face value or slightly more to collectors who need it to complete a set. However, coins that retain some original detail despite minor damage can attract higher interest and sell for a slightly elevated price. The coin's historical significance and its place within the Lincoln Wheat Cent series are key factors that maintain its relevance in the market. Collectors also consider the coin's historical story and the era it represents. The 1950 wheat penny without a mint mark reflects a period of post-war optimism in America, as well as the continued popularity of Lincoln's image on United States coinage, even in damaged condition. It serves as a reminder of mid-century coin production and the everyday currency used by Americans at the time. For new collectors or those completing sets, acquiring this coin, even in less than perfect condition, is often a necessary and meaningful addition. Overall, while the 1950 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny, without a mint mark in damaged condition, may not command a high price in today's market, its historical significance and role in the Lincoln Wheat Cent series ensure it remains a valued collectible. Depending on the degree of damage, these coins typically range in value from a few cents to around $3, providing an accessible way for collectors to engage with a piece of American numismatic history. ****. Thank you for watching and learning more about this classic wheat penny. And if you enjoy coin videos like this, be sure to check out more content on other dates and mint marks that can be worth far more than you might expect. Next up, the 1943 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Steel Penny, and consider how much value this coin can have in dirty, circulated condition in today's market. This is one of the most interesting years in the entire Lincoln cent series because the United States Mint produced pennies made of steel coated with zinc instead of the usual copper. The year 1943 stands out because copper was needed for wartime production during World War II, so the Mint switched to steel for a single year. That change created one of the most recognizable and historically meaningful coins ever made, and collectors have been fascinated by it for generations. The 1943 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint and can be identified by the small D mint mark below the date. When new, these coins had a shiny silver-like appearance because of the zinc coating. Over time, however, the coating can wear away and expose the darker steel beneath, which often causes the coin to look dirty, gray, dull, or spotted. Many circulated examples also show rust or corrosion because steel reacts much differently than copper when exposed to moisture. When people today refer to a dirty 1943 D steel penny, they usually mean a coin that has lost its original shine and picked up decades of grime, oxidation, and discoloration. With this worn and dirty look, the 1943 D wheat penny remains one of the most commonly collected coins in the United States. Millions of collectors want at least one example because it represents a remarkable moment in history. However, the value of the steel penny depends heavily on condition. A shiny, bright, uncirculated piece can be worth several dollars or more, while a heavily worn, dirty circulated one usually brings only a modest amount. Because the Denver Mint produced a very large quantity of these pennies, they are not scarce today in well-worn condition. In today's market, a typical 1943 D steel penny in dirty, circulated condition usually sells for around 10 cents to 50 cents depending on how worn the surface is, or how much of the zinc coating remains and how much rust or spotting the coin shows. Dealers and collectors often price these coins based on overall appearance because the steel composition makes every coin age differently. A dirty coin that still has a decent amount of its zinc coating may bring the higher end of that range, while a coin that is deeply rusted or pitted from corrosion may fall near the lower end. Even though the value is modest, the 1943 D steel penny remains interesting because there is a famous rare variety from 1943 that many people mistakenly believe they may have. The extremely valuable coin is the 1943 copper penny, not the steel penny. Only a few genuine 1943 copper cents exist, and they can be worth huge amounts of money. But the standard 1943 D steel penny made from zinc-coated steel is common and usually worth less than $1 in circulated, dirty condition. This is important to understand because many people think they have a rare coin, only to learn that their piece is the normal steel type, which was made in large quantities. Collectors prefer steel pennies that still show sharp detail on Lincoln's portrait and good definition on the wheat ears on the reverse. In dirty, circulated condition, much of this detail is softened and the metal often shows uneven color. Some collectors enjoy the natural aged look because it illustrates how the coin survived through time, but the value remains tied to condition. Cleaning these coins is strongly discouraged because cleaning will scratch the zinc surface and remove what little original coating remains. A cleaned steel penny almost always loses value. A coin that looks dirty but has natural aging and no harsh scrubbing is more appealing to collectors. The 1943 D penny also tells a story about American industry during wartime. Steel pennies were a symbol of rationing and national effort. They passed through the hands of soldiers, families, factory workers, and everyday citizens who lived through a dramatically different era. Because of this strong historical connection, many people keep a 1943 steel penny even if it is not worth much on the market. The coin carries an emotional weight far greater than its price suggests, and that makes it a constant favorite among new and experienced collectors alike. If you are thinking of selling a dirty, circulated 1943 penny, the simplest way is to include it in a small group of wheat cents or sell it individually as a curiosity piece. Because they are common in circulated condition, dealers often pay only a small amount and usually have many in stock already. Online marketplaces may give slightly better results because buyers often look for affordable examples to start their collections. However, you should still expect the price to fall within the 10 to 50 cent range for most average dirty circulated pieces. You are a collector looking to buy one. The advantage is that they are inexpensive and easy to find. You can search for one with a natural age look and no major rust spots and build a nice representation of this historically important year without spending much money, completing a full set of 1943 steel pennies, including the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco versions, is also very affordable and a popular project for newer collectors. In summary, the 1943 Lincoln Wheat Steel penny in dirty circulated condition typically carries a value of about 10 to 50 cents in today's market. While not rare in this grade, it remains one of the most historically significant and visually distinctive coins ever produced by the United States Mint. It may not bring a high dollar amount, but its story, the wartime background, and the unique steel composition continue to make it a favorite among collectors who appreciate owning a piece of American history that has survived more than 8 decades and countless hands along the way.